Hey guys, it's Woody the unexceptional gamer. Almost forgot who I was. And this video, I'm going to talk about depression. So I'll throw a link in the description to the video where I described my attempted suicide as a teenager. And ever since then, I've been getting like a lot of messages from other people who are running into similar kinds of problems. And it's a challenge for me. So the first thing I want to call up is this. Do you see on the right? That's a little screenshot of my YouTube inbox. You can see I've got 31,000 unread messages of one kind or another. And in terms of personal messages, there's just shy of 19,000. Usually a couple times a week, I'll go through. I'll look at like 100 or 200 messages in a batch, but that number is forever climbing, and it just means that I can't reply to all the messages I get, and I can't even read all the messages I get. And the thing that I find most troubling is that sometimes I get messages like this. All right, so what do we have here? Elite friends, really need your help. Comment on some videos. Yo. Guy enjoys Homefront. Wait a minute. Really need my help? Let's take a look at this thing. I hope he's not trying to choose between a Hug and a Blackmagic Intensity Pro. I really need your help, Woody. I'm 14. I'm thinking of suicide. I had my life at the moment. Everything is going down. I had my life at the moment. Does that mean what I think it means? Does that mean that he was right there, on the edge, halfway toward ending it all, and halfway towards keeping on going? My girlfriend of 2 years has left me. That's a pretty big deal, and a girlfriend of 2 years. There are some, I would say a lot of my adult peers would look at any girlfriend from like the 14-year-old time period is not important, but I'm not among them. 2 years, big deal. And I'm depressed all the time. My grades are slipping and I have insomnia. Please help, Woody. All right. Grades are slipping is actually a pretty big deal too. It leads into that feeling of hopelessness, and insomnia all the time is just classic depression. That's exactly what that means. The thing about my suicide attempt, and like I said, there'll be a link in the description where I talk about me a lot longer, and this video is not about me. Like what inspired me to take it from just being unhappy to taking some kind of action about ending life is I felt like it wasn't going to get better in the future. It just didn't feel like like I don't know, I wish I had a word other than future. I didn't feel like I had any future. I didn't feel like things were going to get better. I didn't feel like things were going to work out. I kind of had this notion that I'd be, broke and unhappy. And I think maybe he feels like, having broken up with his girlfriend, that he's not going to find another one that matches or surpasses her. The grades, that when you're 14 years old, or until you finish high school and college, your grades kind of define your success in life. And it's an awkward thing on a side topic. It's completely okay to ask a 14-year-old what kind of grades he gets, but it's somehow not okay to ask a 40-year-old how much money he makes, even though they're kind of parallel judgments being made there. But back on topic, I get these messages a lot. I become kind of a magnet for them. I predict that I get these more than the other YouTube commentators just because of the style of commentary that I often do, right? I mean, I do some game tips and where to put your napalm, and I also do some life tips like this. So my advice to this guy is not to kill himself. It's... It sounds obvious, right? Oh yeah, don't kill yourself. Why would you do that? You've got such a bright future ahead. But the truth is, at 14, you're still writing your future. You are the author of your future, and you're just getting started in this book. You haven't given yourself a chance to see what you can do yet. It's difficult to hear when you're coming out of a relationship that there's more fish in the sea. The feeling becomes that this particular fish is the only one worth eating. This is getting a little mixed up in the metaphor, but yeah, that's how it goes down. You know, you're like, I broke up with her. She's the one for me. We were soulmates. Now what? And it doesn't go like that. You know, the truth is you find another one that makes you just as happy, and you just sort of have to allow yourself a little time to grieve, and then get back on your game later on. With regards to the insomnia, that is just classic depressed behavior. That's exactly what what everyone who suffered with this goes through. Sometimes it's not just insomnia. It's more like a sleep schedule mess up. It's you're coming home from school, you're not feeling enthusiastic about doing anything, and you kind of sleep your afternoon away. And then after that's over, you find yourself up at night, which you might be describing as insomnia if I'm on target here. And so then you're up too late, and then you're tired during the day, and you just don't really have your sleep schedule back on topic. One thing that I didn't do that in hindsight I wish I had done is I should have talked to my parents or talked to my parents earlier. I mean, I did eventually talk to them, but only after the whole thing was over, only after it was too late for them to provide me any kind of help. I don't know your parents. I know some grown-ups who would look at this sort of thing and just sort of not understand, not have the kind of sympathy. I have a friend who got a job in the professional world. This is a long time ago, and when he did it, it didn't sink for him. He wasn't happy. He was so happy. What he actually did before that was load luggage onto airplanes. And then suddenly when he switched over to he worked with computers, it killed him. He hated it. And, his father just wasn't the sort who understood that people get depression, that people get unhappy. He was gaining weight and, insomnia, and it wasn't for him. I don't know where your parents fall on the spectrum. If they get that, in my opinion, that these, kind of, I'll call them mental diseases, are real diseases that can be treated with medication, that can be treated with therapy, in the same way that a physical disease like a twisted knee can be treated with medication and can be treated with therapy. Involve your parents if you think there's any chance of success, and let them know that you're having this kind of problem. If your parents are on the ball, you could maybe even show them this video. If your parents are on the ball, then they'll bring in someone to get you some help, and they'll be sensitive to what you're going through, over the next couple months, year, until you get out of it. But, it's not over, and there is a huge future in front of you. That's the big deal. That was the big thing for me. The fact that what seems like, a hopeless hole that's difficult to get out of now, that it's difficult to dig your way out, is not that it's actually, a completely solvable problem, that there are happy times in front of you, and not just happy times, not just happy moments, but a happy life, right? That's the real goal. That people who've never had any depression think that maybe the next step is to just get them in a happy place, right? Take them to Six Flags. I don't know if that's national, or it's certainly not international. It's an amusement park with roller coasters and stuff. Take them to Six Flags. That'll solve their depression. No. What solves depression are good relationships with other people. What solves depression is, a life that they feel good about, and a future that's working for them. And then I'll tell you, in my case, and this might be unique to me, making it to springtime, when you get, your solar batteries recharged, is also a big deal, is also a huge aid in solving depression, getting outside, getting some of that kind of time. So, I get things like this all the time. I wanted to at least respond to one of them, via a video, and I wish you the best, man. Talk to your parents, get some help. You're not alone.